Hello everyone and welcome into your daily card reading. Today is Wednesday, September 20th, and I'm sorry I missed yesterday, but I was really sick and just feeling under the weather and just couldn't get it pulled together. So we're here to see what messages are coming out for you from God, Spirit, Divine, the universe. Today also is solstice, where we're going to have equal amounts of daylight and nighttime. So this is a good day to really be thinking about balancing and, work on that grounding, and meditation is always a good thing. So before we jump into the readings broken out by sign groupings, we'll go ahead and take a look at the overall energy. And then if you look in the description box below, you'll see the timestamps for each of the groups. So this one was jumping out, the Nine of Wands. So we have the Nine of Wands as one of the cards. We have the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords, this is that card. It's kind of about like heartbreak and disappointment and things like that. Ten of Cups in reverse is about trouble at home and separation and some family feuds. So that's, those two are kind of going together. And then Nine of Wands, and how it came out, I just kind of put it in the upright, but I would say there's probably some energy maybe of both, which is Nine of Wands in the upright is like persistence and resilience. In reverse, it's about exhaustion. So with this disharmony at home and the heartbreak feeling on the home front, I would say there is a sense of exhaustion, but there's also that perseverance of, maybe you've been enduring it for a long time. And so you have been persistent, but you do feel exhausted too. So let's jump in and see what messages are coming out for each of our individual groupings to see what sort of additional guidance or light can be shed on these cards. So let's start out today with our fire signs. That is our Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Oops, what message is coming through? This one was the jumper card, was the Chariot. So that's that fast-moving energy. And if you follow the channel, you'll know when I get jumpers, I also pull another one. And the Magician. So it's this fast-moving energy of being successful, accomplishing what you're supposed to be accomplishing. And with the Magician being the pulled card there, it's like you're working on transforming this negative energy, this heavy energy into something better. So it's about balancing spirituality and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. That one jumped, so I'll pull another one. But if you're having this heartbreak and this feeling of like discontent at home, you are quickly getting the energy and the momentum to change that energy, transform it, get your life on track in a way that's meaningful for you. So let's pull a card, since that one was a jumper card. Our pulled card is Believe in the Impossible. So it could be something where whatever this issue is at home, these family feuds, this trouble, these separations, and all of this heartbreak, it could be a matter of, you've been thinking, oh, it's impossible, I'm never going to be able to get out of that situation. And this is saying, believe in the impossible. You can get out of it. You can transform that heavy, tough situation into something better. And one of the things we talk about on this channel a lot is like with life lessons, they keep repeating until you learn your lesson. So if some of this, disillusion and sorrow at home, if it's been going on for a while, which, with this card, since it kind of came out, I guess, sort of in reverse when I first looked at it, about being exhausted or burned out. So if you've been in that situation for a long time, you haven't done anything about it, the universe is going to keep sending you louder and louder signals until you do something about it. Let's take a look at our soul journey card, Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. So with this loneliness card, see, there's like all these people in there. It can feel lonely. Like, I would say this disharmony at home is making you feel lonely. But believe in the impossible. I mean, this one kind of goes with fixing that loneliness. I'm never alone. So it's really about, you know, calling in your, I guess, kind of calling in your soul tribe. You know, ask your angels, ask your ancestors for help and guidance. All right, your jumper card. A new door is opening shortly. So this is that, you know, hang in there. A new door is opening shortly for you. And since that was a jumper card, I will pull. Apparently fire signs have lots of jumpers for today. And this one is, you need to put in more effort. And this is related to balancing your spirituality and your practicality. So since the messages are going together based on how they flow in this reading. So these are the ones that go together. The effort that you need to put in, it's not necessarily fixing this. It's working on the spirituality and understanding what is this message that's coming through for me. What is this lesson? Why is this lesson here? So a lot of it is if you can take your step back from the actual 3D and what's happening and say, okay, if this was being presented to me as a play or a movie or whatever, what is the lesson the main character is supposed to be learning here? And that way it can get you out of your head. All right, let's take a look at our earth sign. So that is our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, the devil. So that is the energy for you for today, for Wednesday, is the devil. And whether that is you are embodying that devil energy or be mindful of what is trying to pull you off your path. What is keeping you in feelings of negativity, feelings of, you know, I'll call it low vibe feelings. And whatever that is needs to be released and let go. And that will help get you back on your path. And some of those energies can be very tempting, you know, whatever it is. A lot of times the devil has to do with vices. So whether it's drinking, drugs, gambling, shopping, sex, working out, you know, working too much in general. So all of those, but show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. So this is kind of, you know, behind the devil. You know, the devil's here in gold. Behind it is this purple. So the devil is standing in the way of you getting to this purple back here. But even with that, you know, that landscape's a little bit tough. So let's see what other messages are coming through. All right. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So, you know, this here with the 9 of Wands and, you know, with this persistence and resilience, so that's an admirable quality. But if that's also kind of in here in line with the devil, make sure that you're not persistently staying in a cycle of addiction, whatever that addiction might be, because that is going to be pulling you off of your path. And that is going to be keeping you from your happiness, which is also keeping you from being able to share your gifts with others. All right. Let's take a look at this. Zoom out and see what lesson is unfolding. So, I mean, this goes along with what I was talking about at the end of the fire signs readings about, you know, can you step back and look at this as a movie or a play or a book? You know, what is the main character supposed to be learning through this? And really apply that to your life. Like once you can zoom out and see what this lesson is, it's easier to see, you know, it's easier to see than if you're standing there in the middle looking at, you know, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. But when you can zoom out and say, this character here has this and this and this happening, and, you know, kind of like when you're watching a movie or you're whatever, you're like yelling at the screen, come on, just do, you know, whatever. If you can view struggles in your life in that respect, it can help you figure out your way out of it. All right, let's take a look at our water signs. So that is our Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, the Hierophant. And this is that kind of traditional inside of the box thinking. And it's also that mentor, guru, teacher type of energy. So if you're having issues, you know, heartbreak issues, finding, what is, who's like a guru that could help me with this? Do I need to go to talk to a counselor? Do I need to talk to a spiritual advisor? Do I need to, watch videos on self-love on YouTube instead of, binge watching something more mindless? Trying to find that help that you need to get past that. And your moon card, full moon in Virgo, you are good enough. So if you're with this persistence card, it's got that same green in there, feeling like you just have to keep slugging it out, like, oh, well, I have to keep doing this, I have to keep doing that because I'm not trying hard enough. This is that message of you are good enough. The jumper card was grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And let me pull a card as well. Empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. So with this grief, some of these issues at home, kind of fallen in there with that orange. Some of these issues at home are creating grief and sadness. The whole thing of it's an opportunity to appreciate it should not be taken as a head game. Like, oh, well, I'm going to, like if it's a relationship, well, I'm just going to break up with the person and leave and walk away so then that way they come back, they come begging me to come back. Like, not from a head game standpoint. Sometimes the appreciation is appreciating the lesson, appreciating the growth that came from that situation, and how much you've changed as a person. The empathy part of I am open to seeing both sides of a situation, and that's really the way through it, because if you can see both sides of it, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to agree with both sides of it. It just means you understand where the person's coming from, so you can speak more directly with them and more openly. So this one, in terms of try a new hobby, sometimes a distraction is good, getting you involved with other situations. If there's, other people, maybe you meet a good friend, maybe something wonderful happens. If you're having troubles at work, maybe trying a new hobby, maybe somebody at this new hobby could open up some doors from a business perspective or different ideas from a career perspective. So sometimes getting out and trying something new is a great way to expand your horizons a little bit and get different energy surrounding you. All right, last but not least, we have our air signs. So let's see what message is coming through for our air signs for today. All right, air signs, death. So this is going to be the end of something. The end of something is coming up, and it's not as dramatic and earth-shaking as like when the tower comes along. So the death is kind of like it's a sense of rebirth, renewal, where something is falling away. So a lot of times we think about it from the perspective of a certain frame of mind or a certain belief system or a certain thought. Maybe you've been mentally battling with whatever, and that's finally falling away. Like if you, for example, if you were the one battling with these feelings of, oh, I'm just not good enough, like that's starting to fall away. That was a bunch. So I'm going to leave those and just pull a different one. Step out of your comfort zone. And this is that North Node card, and North Node moved into Aries in the middle of July. And that was all about being your true self, being authentically you and standing in your truth. So sometimes it's going to feel like it's outside of your comfort zone, but that's okay. That's where that growth is going to happen. If you just stay in your comfort zone the whole time, you're not going to be growing. So it could be, and trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. That was the jumper card, and that absolutely is going with the step outside of your comfort zone. Let me pull one more. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So it's trust and discipline in terms of stepping outside of your comfort zone. Look at all those pretty purples. So it's almost like your subconscious, like your ego mind, is telling yourself something that it shouldn't be telling yourself, but that's just where you've been. So this death card is coming up, like from a reading perspective, it's coming up that you're ending those feelings of doubt, those tendencies to listen to that loud voice in your head. We've said this a lot, that intuition whispers and fears and ego scream. So it's, if you're in the midst of something big or dramatic happening to you, I'm not going to say traumatic, but it's easier to listen to whatever's screaming in your head than it is to be like, all right, shh, you voice, be quiet. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to sit in the stillness and listen to my intuition. So I see this as being the death of that sort of process, like that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. You're pushing away that monkey mind, and you do have the discipline to do it. Release your need to control the situation. And sometimes that presents itself in the form of, like, your fears are coming up because you want to be able to control a situation and you can't. And so then it's like, it makes your mind kind of crazy if you can't control it, especially if there's some disharmony going on, like family issues on the home front, and you're feeling this sense of loss or sorrow or heartache, and you kind of keep going back and forth between having that sense of like resilience and you're making a stand, but then you have that, I'm just so burned out, I'm tired of making a stand. Nope, but I'm going to make a stand. No, I'm tired of it. And you just kind of keep waffling back and forth a little bit. But if you release your need to control the situation and put your trust in the divine, that the timing is unfolding the way it's unfolding for a reason, work on that grounding, trust that intuition, and that should help you make it through whatever this issue is right now, that's needing to be let go. So I hope you found today's reading to be helpful. If there's somebody else that you think could benefit from this information, I would welcome you to share that. And also, there's some other new videos that have posted recently, and if you want to be alerted when the other new videos are going to be posting, go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification bell. As always, take only what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. So I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time, bye-bye.